What's up, everybody out there in 420 land? This is the co-host of Two Stone Dudes podcast, Ryan Castle. The Anchor app is where I got my start, and it's been amazing being a podcast host so far because of Anchor. Let me explain. It's the easiest way to make a podcast for free. That's right, it's free. Anchor then distributes your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. And I won't forget about the creation tools that allow you to edit your podcast from your phone or your PC. And you can get paid with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make your very own podcast. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Stone Dudes podcast. This is your co-host, Rob the Nod, with over here, standing to my left,
Ryan Castle,
and to my right,
Jamie,
and further down,
Mondo.
Yeah! On today's show, we are speaking about, well, it's not remorse, it's, what's the
Grief.
word? Grief. Thank you. And as we speak of grief, it won't be me at this moment. So we're going to start this griefing process with our main man, Ryan. Ryan.
Thanks, Rob. So there's been a lot of death recently in a lot of our lives, and then a lot of memories of people that have passed away. And I've lost childhood friends. I've got like two people that I knew that I was close to growing up that are left alive. Out of like a handful of people, and the bodies keep mounting up. It's one thing. I had an ex-girlfriend die of cancer, brain cancer. She was a couple years older. She's 40 years old. And a buddy of mine OD'd after being clean for like 10, 11 years. And then and it sucks because like I know these people. Like, I remember their faces very clearly, regardless of what they look like today. I remember exactly what they looked like. These were people, they weren't just names, in a newspaper obituary. These were people that I knew, people that I cared about. And of course, there's always my sister. Now, I'm going to go do what's called, Mondo, correct me if I'm wrong, EDMR?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. EDMR? Okay. So I'm going to go do what's called EDMR therapy.
It's EMD, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Right. We know what it is.
So, excuse me, I'm smoking of blood.
I use vagina therapy.
Well,
My favorite.
Mondo, here you go. Mondo.
What?
I got a blunt for you, Mondo.
Blunt, Mondo.
What'd you do?
Got a blunt.
You want to smoke, Mondo?
A bump?
A blunt. No, it's not a bump. Nah.
I got you.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's usually on a Sunday.
I got you.
So, my main thing I'm gonna have to try to get over is my grief with my sister. My sister was 16, and she shot herself, killed herself. And
I feel bad for you, brother. I feel bad.
And it completely changed my life.
Yeah.
It'll change anyone's.
Exactly.
Like, for the worst.
Right.
And every September I get sketchy. And that's why I think we're getting married in September, to make September a better month for us.
You kind of check out sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big time. So, the way I'm going to learn to deal with my grief is by going to these sessions.
Good.
And doing that kind of therapy. And
You gotta let it out, man.
yeah.
Can't sleep all day.
Get rid of a lot of PTSD that way.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
And I have a couple people from my hometown that listen to the show, and
Right on.
Shout out to Ryan's hometown.
you guys aren't the only ones that feel the effects. It's like these are people you guys knew too.
Sure.
So I'm right there with you. And it's like fuck. You kind of feel like you're the only one left. You know. And and I got told when you get to a certain age that people are just going to start dying and passing away on you.
More so.
And I didn't think it was going to be this early. You know? I figured it was going to be like in my 50s and 60s and 70s where I hear about that, but not this early in life. So it's quite a shock. You know, I was 18 when my sister passed away. And you know, it just was not a good time for me. It was the beginning of my choice to be an addict.
Yeah.
So that's how my journey in that started. So anyway, that's what I'm doing about it. That's my session on grief on that. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
It's I gotta say a little something here. Yeah, when it comes to grieving and drug abuse and drug use, it's no one wants to hear the sorries and sorrows from other people. You just want to do your hit and fucking just go with it. That's what I believe, because anyone wants to just close that door because it hits so fucking hard and quick that you don't know what to do, especially when it's a close member of the family. It's like a second or third cousin. You're like, oh yeah, I met him once at the barbecue, but you know what, he's alright. But yeah, if it's your sibling, your sister, your brother, your parents, and if you really care for them and they care for you back, and you lose them, you lose a part of yourself. And it does take a very extremely long time, and I gotta say long time because that's how I feel. Even though life is technically short, thanks to ourselves, but it stays with you for the entire time of your life existence. And learning, or not learning, but just getting somewhat of a self-control of that feeling, man, it makes life somewhat a little easier to go through. So my man Ryan over here, he's working hard and trying to establish this painful memory into where you're used to it, but it's not gonna kill you. And that's for a lot of fucking things in this life. You kind of get used to it, you know, so you can just move on with yourself. So when it comes to grieving, man, we're stuck in that fucking first step. Always. So I feel you, Ryan.
I know, I just smoke and then I get a case of the fuckets and
it comes back. It comes fucking back. Everyone's got that fucking nightmare that comes back, man.
Yeah.
Now, Jamie, I believe it's your turn.
Hi.
See? Hi, Jamie.
So, it's been a year since my dad passed, and I haven't seen him since I was 5, and so whenever he had passed, it was like he had been taken all over again. And I remember my Aunt Michelle had messaged me on Facebook and gave me her number and said, "You need to call me." And I knew then why. I didn't even have to call her before I knew. But I called her and, you know, she broke the news to me. And it fucking broke my heart. But the thing that hurt more was telling my mom, calling her, because she was married to him. And, you know, they hadn't been together in, like, I don't know, 25 years, 24, 26 years. Mm-hmm. But they were still married. They still loved each other, you know. And knowing them breaking her heart by telling her, like, fuck.
Yeah.
I have a lot of his stuff, and it helps a lot. I have a lot of his band shirts, and we have the same taste in music, so that helps. I have his pillow.
Pillows are nice. You get to hug those. Well, again, this episode of Two Stone Dudes is about grief. And Everyone needs that moment when they're speaking of the time because it's just like fucking yesterday with it. And again, we just don't want it to go away. We just need to calm it down a tad so we can just keep on moving with our wonderful selves through the day. Because we have to take it one day at a time.
I've dealt with death before, you know, and it was a lot easier. I mean, I knew that just death came with life, and that was that. And, I mean, it sucked. I cried, you know, I felt emotions, but...
Yeah, it's a shitty acceptance.
Yeah. But my dad died, and I had looked forward for years of him meeting my kids and being able to fucking hug him again. And he found out about his cancer, his lung cancer, and he didn't tell me how progressed it was. He was already in stage 4, and he gave me the impression that he was in stage 1 or 2 still. And 30 days later, he was gone.
Sad.
And I kicked myself in the ass because I didn't get out there sooner. But I didn't know.
Right.
So I tried not to, you know, beat myself up over it too bad, but...
Yeah, don't, dude.
Well, we're going to tell you right now, it ain't your fault. When a person's in that state of mind, that the last thing they want to do is hurt a loved one. So, yeah, they're just going to play it off like, you know, it just happened. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. You know, they're doing that for you, not for them. Yeah. Well, the thing is, when they are gone, then who's going to continue with it? You know? Sometimes it's extremely difficult to look in the mirror. Any more, Jamie? To express?
I celebrated his birthday, even though he's not around.
Okay.
And, you know, celebrating with, like, acting as though they're still around.
Okay, it's not wrong with that. How old would he be?
I don't know. Old.
Old fart, right?
Like in his 50s.
Oh, that's not old. You can still go to the club at 50.
So he'd be in his 50s if he was around. Yeah. He'd be partied down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a little too much of that.
Could trip the little kids and find it funny. I would laugh.
There's a couple of us here that understand that. You
know? Yep. Mondo!
Okay.
We are familiar with some of your recent griefs. Of course, it's up to you to speak about it, or if you want to talk about something past that, you know, way before that ever happened, feel free.
Okay.
So, mic's yours, Mondo.
Well, thank you, Rob. Here's the deal. You know, it goes all the way back. The first one that really affected me was my granddad. And he had lived with us. I was a little kid. I was about 6. And he had lived with us. And he was a really cool old cowboy motherfucker. And he was born in 1865. And I used to talk to him every day. And, like, I loved my granddad. He was a cool guy. Anyway, so he died. That was the first one. And then my dad died when I was 16. And that was a real kick in the ass. That kicked me dead in my ass. Because my whole life was wrapped up in our family business, which he ran. And I was going to take that over, and that was going to be my life. So that was over. Then my aunt died, and that was really sad because she was a fucking great woman. Just great. And one of my aunts, I had a bunch of aunts die, and they were all cool. But anyway, because I was close to, we had a pretty big extended family, so you get close to people, you know, in your extended family. And when they die, it's like, I don't feel bad for them. It's just I feel bad because I can't communicate with them.
Right.
You know, it's like, with my mother, for example, she died in 14. She was 92. I used to talk to her almost every day. She was one of my great friends. We became friends about 30 years before that. Before that, it was like, you're still my child. No, I'm not. I'm a grown man. Anyway, so that was a tough one. That was a really tough one. And my other aunt who died, that was really tough. And then my son committed suicide here a couple months back. And that was a huge emotional kick in the nuts. It was. It still is. It's just like I wake up and I still don't believe it sometimes because I want to talk to my boy. I want to talk to him, and I can't talk to him. And I realized how I took him for granted in a lot of ways, you know. And now another friend of mine is dying right now in Great Falls, Montana. And I'm like,
Is it still cold over there?
that's actually about 80 degrees up there. It's pretty nice. But anyway, I can't. I don't travel. I'm not going up there. If he's not dead today, he'll be dead in the next few days. And I'm like, yeah, it's just this big droning silence that to me is death. And it's not sad. It's not happy. It's not nothing. It's just nothing.
They say you should welcome death calmly.
Because it's coming, baby.
Yeah, it's
coming.
no stopping them.
And as someone who has had near-death experiences twice, I can tell you it ain't that bad. It ain't good. It ain't bad. It ain't nothing. It's just nothing.
See, I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of the pain that I'm going to leave behind whenever I'm gone.
Well, see, there you go. To me, that's a very legitimate concern. Try to make a good pasture for everybody around you. So,
Right.
And my mother did that, so she was really good at that. My mother was. My dad, pretty good. He was a famous guy, so. But it's just grief. It is part of life, and the sooner that I learned to embrace it, the better life has been for me. I embraced it. I had to get actually training in it. I had to go and do a whole grief set of seminars, and I learned how to deal with it. It doesn't mean it's all better. It means you deal with it. It's when you lose somebody, when I have lost someone really close to me, it's really tough. I can tell you that. I don't care how strong or how bad or whatever I am, it still hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And keep on going.
Get that rock feeling hiccup.
Just fucking keep on going because when I sit there and I embrace my own existential self, which is okay. You live and you die, and that's it. And living just has to stay very good, just positive, and finding some good shit all the time.
Oh yeah, and smoke it.
That's it. So I can just tell you, man, I'm in the middle of it. I'm always in the middle of it, and it's rolling along really deep and dark, and it's pretty cool on the outside, though.
It's hot outside.
Yeah.
It's fucking melting
like
today.
fucking 100 degrees today?
Just a flat 100 today.
Well, as you and I both know, it comes every year.
Yeah. We get 6 or 7 months of melting, and then for the rest we cool off.
We cool off.
Yeah, we get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm high as fuck. I just want to say that.
You are high as fuck.
For real. Yeah.
You said your piece today, Ryan.
I did.
You said your piece, brother.
And he will continue.
That's it's heavyweight, but at least we acknowledge it. You acknowledge I got heavy weight. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be like a big pile of shit. You got to send it somewhere.
Because those who have gone, when they were here, they would have told us the same thing on that level. I guarantee you, almost every one of them.
Yeah, I'm glad you got this. I'm glad you hooked this up. We're all weed poor right now. I just gotta say it's except Mondo. Mondo's not weed poor. The rest of us are weed poor.
We're balanced.
Yeah.
You're just underbalanced.
I got a little bit of weed. A little smoking. That's what it's here for.
Right.
Because I'm going to go to the dispensary this weekend anyway.
Nice.
So, it's time to stock up.
Nice.
So I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
If you want to wrap it up.
Whatever you want to do, right?
I got a grief thing.
Go for it.
Oh, all right.
I got to call it a thing because that's how I deal with it.
Right.
For there are listeners and people who do know me, yes, I have a weird sense of humor. And that's part of my therapy every day. People shoot up. I don't do that. I just smoke my weed. Once in a while, I'll swallow a pill. not a cock pill, but just an actual pill. You know, I'll mix an Advil and a Tylenol. It makes what? Do the homework. I'll let you guys view on that one on your own. Other than that, you know, do a little ecstasy, snort a little coke here and there, but nothing major. But just being real about it. I'm a grown ass adult. I know my limits when it comes to that alone.
All right.
My grief, and still to this day, actually I have two. I'll make them short. My mom raised me and my brothers and sisters. You know, I had more than one father figure. But the one that stayed died too soon at the time. I was only 9. Woo. But I did mouth-to-mouth recitation. I brought him back once. That was it. So, being 9 years old and the man you can call dad passes away because you thought you have a full family.
Oh, man.
You don't. But I got my mom, I got my brothers, I got my sisters. And I keep on trucking it. And then the way he was around at the time, actually I know him from the age of 4 to the age of 9. So what I've witnessed, how he treats my mom, I do my best for my family in his aspect. But my other crazy grief will be the death of my great-grandfather. Well, actually, no, not my my actual grandfather. Yeah, my grandpa. He was a tough man. That man could, like, crush a brick in his hands. You know, he had the working time. He was the Superman, I would say, of toughness as a Boricua, Puerto Rican in New York, you know. And I hurt his feelings. I fucked up our relationship. I stole the car. You know, teenagers, we do stupid shit. As a teenager, I manipulated and found a way. I schemed up a way when he went on vacation. I got the car keys and started driving his whip around over the weekend. Didn't fear any consequences whatsoever. I'm a teenager. I'm invincible. But when he came back and woke me up in my sleep, you know, from my sleep, he's like, let's go talk. And when he told me that he doesn't know how to gain our relationship, to then pass away a few years later, it fucking sucks. I don't know if he still is mad at me, or if, I know he loves me, but man, those nightmares of him looking at me in the middle of the night with disappointment, because, you know, he really, I was the man of the house, you know. I was helping my mom and raising my brothers and sisters, going to work, going to school. And I'd do some stupid shit and take the whip. All I had to do was ask. He would have said yes. But I really never seen a relative that mad at me and then not talk to me anymore. And I never got to really say I'm sorry. So, you know, I keep my sense of humor up most of the time. And it does work, you know. And I only get this way when I speak of the moments. Other than that, everything's all good and peachy and gravy and Jack Daniels. Nice. On Sundays. After 10. Right. No, that's about it, you know. I attempted suicide once. That's a whole different story, but my son's voice was in my head. That's what kept me going, so I'm still here. Well, hey, my birthday's coming up.
Yeah, I know.
On May 11th. I'll be 41 years old.
Yeah.
Right on.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll still eat my vegetables. I'll be happy.
I think we're about a year old as a podcast.
Yeah, about a year.
Has it been about a year?
As
I
a group
think
like
so.
this, right?
Me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcast anniversary.
Your year anniversary. I think it's like next month. Something like that. But
Okay.
anyway.
Well, we gotta check the schedule.
Yeah, I gotta do it.
And the calendars.
Yeah. Go ahead and wrap it up, bro.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap this show up. Unless you have more shit to say.
I'm
Anyone?
good to go, man.
Alright. We're probably gonna smoke one more blunt, but we ain't gonna do that on the air. Well, everyone have a good night, have a good weekend, and toke up, smoke up, drink up, but be safe about it, and don't suck your fingers after Cheetos. That's gross.